This video picks up just where the last one left off. So we've got right now a boolean variable that becomes true when the mouse is pressed and stays true. So this also works if you wanted to use another conditional statement in void draw. You could say if mouse pressed is equals true, then clicked equals one equal sign again to assign a value. So these are separate conditional statements. You don't want to nest these. So if mouse press equals true, clicked equals true, and if clicked equals true, then show the ellipse, and that will work the same way. Perhaps we want if key pressed equals true, then clicked equals false again. So what will happen then? Press the mouse, clicked becomes true, press a key, it's no longer true, it becomes false again. Or maybe you have two conditions that need to be met before click can become true. What if I have an integer variable? Again, I can declare and initialize in one line, or I could say in counter semicolon and then counter equals 0. Set up either way. Maybe counter equals counter plus 1. Maybe you don't want to be able to click and have the circle show up right away. Maybe, somebody has to read some instructions before they can do that. You could say something like if mouse press equals true and counter is greater than I don't know, let's say 60, so at least a second. So when I initially play this, it doesn't work, but after a second goes by, it does. Maybe I'll make it 160 so we can see that a little more clearly. So now clicking, nothing happening. So eventually, almost 3 seconds have to go by, 2.5 seconds have to go by before I will be able to have click become true. So let's apply that to this program that we had. Again, this is the program where we use an integer variable, changing its value from 0 to 1. 0, which is also actually zeros and ones, are just like true and false in a way, in the way the computers use them. We've heard of binary. 0 means off, or false, or and 1 means on or true. So it's the same thing here. Instead of int clicked equals 0, I could make that boolean clicked equals false. And then instead of checking to see if it becomes 1, I'm checking to see if it becomes true. And instead of the button press changing the variable from 0 to 1, I'm going to have it change to true. So now it's going to work exactly the same way, but instead of using an integer variable, we're using a Boolean variable instead, which is definitely more efficient coding. It definitely takes a lot less space to use a Boolean, which can only have 2 values, versus an integer variable. And as coding gets more complex, it really simplifies if you're checking to see if something is true or false to not confuse that with integer variables that can be used for so many other things.